So this is the Upwork platform. Let's go ahead and create our very first account. Right over here, hit sign up. We're going to be a freelancer. And just fill up this form or sign up with Google or Apple. Once you've created your account, you're going to enter your panel. Just do all of the verification and then you will be able to customize your profile in the next step. Once you've verified your email, you're going to be brought onto this screen. Let's get started. And it's going to ask us a few questions. So you want to be as honest as possible. You don't want to hit too high, say that you've had freelance before when you haven't, because Upwork is going to customize the way that the platform is for you based on these answers. So you want to just give an honest answer. This does not affect how your profile looks. It's just how Upwork provides services for you as the freelancer. If you're unsure about these questions, you can skip them. You don't have to answer them, but you can select multiple if you're not sure. So I'm just going to select this one and this one. And now I can create my profile. Over here, you can either upload your resume or link your LinkedIn, which is a faster way to do it if you have an updated LinkedIn page, or you could fill it up manually. Takes 15 minutes. I'm just going to import from my LinkedIn. Once you've done that, you now have to give yourself a title. This is very important. You want to explain to the client in the fastest and most forward way possible what is it that you do. So you can just type in your niche. For example, there's full stack developer, web mobile. You can type in anything you want. I'm just going to type in something like this, and now we can go ahead and add our experience. So based on my LinkedIn profile, I brought in all of these experiences. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile or if you don't have any experience, it's okay. Just hit continue and you can add these experiences later. You can also create one manually. Just hit this plus, fill in the form, and then it will be in your experiences. Now let's add our education, which is the next step. Once you've filled in your work experience and your education, you're now asked to add your languages. Now this may seem like something simple, but it's really helpful if you put in all the languages that you know. Even if it's a little bit of Spanish, it's going to help with the client to understand how well you can perform in a certain project. So any language that you speak, you can go ahead and add it here. Again, there's this option right here, so you don't have to be perfect at it. You can just use the basic option. Just bring in any language that you know. It's going to be really helpful for your profile. So something like this would look good. It would be even better if you're good at it, but just this alone will let the client know that I can be helpful in these languages, even if it's not to the perfect level. But doing this will give me a higher chance of getting other types of projects based on language. Once you fill this in, you can now share your skills. So we have suggested skills that, for me, it's brought out of my LinkedIn profile. But if you manually filled in your profile, you would have to just type in your skills. You can click on these to just add them onto the skill bar. Once you've chosen your skill, you can now move on to writing your bio. The next step is the work that we do. And now this is the niche that we talked about. We said that we want to focus on the main service that we are great at and focus on that from now on. So you want to select the category of that main service after you've chosen your niche, of course, and then stick with this main service throughout your Upwork work profile. You could create sub-services later, But right now, just focus on your main niche and the skill that you are great at. Now let's set our rate. So right now you can just put in a number. We can always come back and change this. This is going to be on your profile when you first get started. We will talk about setting our prices and rates in a further lesson, but right now just put something that can go on your profile. You don't want to put something really high, but you can simply do a Google search. Just so you know what you should put on there. And based on this, I can see that I can go from $15 to $150. But here's the thing, because I just started, I cannot put $150 per hour because my profile is empty. I haven't had any projects from Upwork, and putting $150 per hour is going to just be unrealistic. So you want to go with either $15 in this example or $25. But again, because I just made my profile, I shouldn't be putting my prices that high because it just doesn't make sense. When you're fresh in a field, you want to start out slow and then make your way up to $150 per hour. So right now, just go with the lowest number. And as you take on projects from Upwork, as you take more clients, you can add to this rate. So based on this, I'm going to set my hourly rate to $15. So Upwork will take a service fee, and this is what I'm getting per hour. Again, it's low right now, but as I move on, as I get better at my Upwork freelancing, I can just add to this later. Once you've finished putting in your hourly rate, you can go ahead and finish up your profile with the photo and location. So these are the last details for your profile. You just gotta put in your photo and some location information. Now, the thing about the photo is that you want to make sure it's a professional photo, as it says right here. You don't want to put a blurry photo or an old photograph. You want to put something professional, something high class, and something that will, like Upwork says, helps you build trust with your clients. Once you have filled in the information, hit check your profile. So right over here, you can edit things further. Maybe you want to add a few things or remove them. You can do all the changes here, and then you just need to hit submit profile for your profile to be finalized. You can hit the pencil there to add or remove from the stuff that you've written. Hit save when you're finished, and we can just go ahead and submit our profile. And now my profile is ready. I can now start browsing jobs, writing proposals, and just get started with my Upwork journey. If I hit view my profile, if I want to add something, I can again edit them like so. I can even hit public view. And it's just going to show me exactly what the client is seeing. Let's go back. I can go to profile settings and change a few things. You can add security questions. I recommend verifying your identity and your payments info at the start so that it won't be a problem later. So just go over here and you get to change your password, your tax information, and everything that's related to your account. But it's best to do it soon. So right after you created your profile, take some time to fill in these forms and verify your identity so that you can move towards your proposals and jobs without any worries about this issue. When you scroll down on your profile, you can see that there's some boxes that are empty. The first one is work history, which would fill up as you continue on Upwork. But below here, we have a portfolio option. If you have a portfolio, you can just link them up here. It really helps with clients seeing how well you do at a task. So let's go ahead and add a portfolio. So you can give it a title, show the date, and then you can select templates. If you have done a project on Upwork, you would be able to link your work. But if you haven't and you've just started, then you can just bring in your works. Let's give this a name. Give a date that you finished it. And you can choose the template that's there. I will just choose a gallery. You can add your files right here. Use the bar right here to add the skills that you used. So for me, it would be animation, Illustrator, and a bunch of these. I'm going to upload my file so that there is something on my profile that clients can see. If you don't have anything right now, you can just leave it be empty. You can always come back and change the stuff on your profile. You can add a description and anything else that you want. Let's hit publish. And now I have my very first portfolio item. Right over here. I can delete it if I want or edit the stuff that's in it. So down here we have something called project catalog. So normally with Upwork, you would have connects that are things that you would use each time that you approach a potential client. But this project catalog is the opposite. So you would be creating your projects for the clients to come to you. So normally you would be going to the clients, but with this project catalog, it's the other way around. The clients will come to you for a project. Once you hit manage projects, you can create your first project. Let's see how this works. So basically you're going to give the type of service. For example, I will create you a logo in 2 days. And you can set the terms for what you're going to give. So logo in 2 days, I will give you some mock-ups, I'll give you a color palette, and the customer can see this and then decide to work with you. So you're putting it out there, you can put a bunch of these projects there, and the clients will basically come to it's kind of like a shop. They will come to your shop and they will see the services that you offer. And then they would just choose the services that they're looking for. So this is a lot better because instead of you having to search for clients, writing proposals, going on the job boards, you can come over here and just put your services out there and then the clients would just come to you. So you're saving yourself the time of searching for clients. This is a really helpful thing. We'll get into this later. But this is essentially how it works. You're going to fill up all of these categories and then you would just submit it for it to be on your project catalog. Let's go back here. And then right below we have something called testimonials. So these are from your past clients. Right now we don't have any clients because we just started, but you can request a client testimonial even if it's not on Upwork. So let's say I have worked as a freelancer but not on this platform. I could still go over here, fill up the items that you see, and then an email would go to this past client, and I'm basically asking this past client to share a brief testimonial about my work with you. It doesn't have to be Upwork clients. You can ask your previous clients to come over here and just share their experience on your testimonial board. So you can do that right here. Let's close this. They will just show up on this area. And this is great for new clients. They will see these testimonials, see how the past clients were happy with your work and your service. And then they will just be more hopeful about a project that they'd want to do with you because they see all the good reviews and all the good comments, and that way you can earn their trust. Below we have certifications. You can import it from Credly or add it manually. Again, it's going to be a bunch of questions that you can answer. Adding certifications is also good for your credibility. If you have a bunch of these certifications, it's going to gain the client's trust. But if you don't have any, it's okay. You can just leave this empty. We have employment history that we already filled. You can add other experiences. For example, you can write in your volunteer works and some side projects that you did. Even if it was something for yourself, you can add it over here. It doesn't have to be a work-related experience. You can even write in something such as going to a business event. Anything that can make your profile look good, you can add it over here. But this is not your work history. So you would write things over here that you haven't written in the employment history box. Like we said, volunteer work, events, side projects, etc. So those were the areas for your profile. And you want to make sure that you have enough works in here, like you filled up all of these boxes before turning on your availability. Because if you say you're available now, the client will come to your profile, but they will find that you have no testimonials, no certifications, and it's just going to look bad. So you want to make sure that you build your profile in the best way possible before turning on your availability. Now that we have created our profile, it's now time to learn about pricing and rates. We need to see what causes a certain person to have a higher price and what causes them to have a lower price. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.